You are listening to Doug Thorpe's New Manager Forum. Sit back and enjoy this new message. Here's Doug.
Has anybody ever told you that hiring is a crapshoot? That's a weird position to take, right? Well, I was told that once. I had been hired by a pretty aggressive and somewhat inspirational CEO to create a division for his company. And we were having a meeting one day. We were talking about the growth plan and how we were going to identify and acquire new people. And we got to talking about the hiring process, and he said just bluntly, hiring is a crapshoot. I was really stunned at that point. I wasn't sure how to take that. I had fancied myself a decent executive and capable of identifying good people, and felt that I'd had a pretty good track record of doing that. And for him to take that austere position really stunned me. We had a spirited debate over that notion. We continued to operate for quite some time, but having him plant that seed in my thinking, I began to ponder that thought, and it actually took root to some degree. And let me tell you why. The age-old adage among HR people is that we hire on talent, but we fire on behavior. That is actually a very true statement. For the most part, when people come to work, they have been selected because of some pedigree, some background, some perhaps demonstrated output or outcome that we can rely upon and say, yes, that will be a good fit in this job need that I have in my organization. But in reality, as time goes on, that person lands, they get involved, and they start producing or not. Then you realize that it's typically some form of latent behavior that causes you to make a decision to cut them from your team. And by behavior, I mean things like it can be something as simple as attendance problems. It can be attitude. It can be personality. It can be their ability to interact with the team. It can be their outright, insubordination, breaking and failing to follow company rules and policies. All of those things are far more behavioral than they are skill-based. Now, granted, every once in a while you get a bad egg that seems to have quite a skill at being a bad egg, and not to be facetious about the whole thing, but my point is this: it's not far from a stretch to say hiring is a bit of a crapshoot, because the interview process is so focused on the selection of that right fit, that candidate that can come in, and unless you're doing some pretty deep behavioral testing, you have no good indicator of how they're actually going to act once they get into the company. I know there's a lot of great solutions that have emerged to do emotional testing, certain kinds of personality testing, behavioral testing, all those things, so that you can at least make an educated guess of fit for your perceived culture at your company. But for the most part, when it's all said and done, you really don't know what somebody's going to do when they show up, and when they are influenced by the other team members, whether there's a chemistry on the team or not, and whether your culture as an organization jives with what they want to do and be. Those are all wild cards. So is hiring a crapshoot? Maybe not in its perfect sense, as in you don't have a clue, as in there's no hope, as in, wow, there's no chance to guarantee what you're going to get. I won't go that far still, but I can appreciate what my old CEO said, that really at the end of the day, you don't really know until the person gets in the seat, gets involved, starts to produce, starts to demonstrate what their ultimate behaviors are. I hope you have a way to include some of those considerations when you're making your hiring selection process. If you don't, there's probably a lot to be studied and a lot to be gained to help improve that, and most of which is an accumulation of lessons hard learned about choices you made for different reasons, and you find out later that those reasons weren't so good after all. But I hope you've been able to hone your skills at being a hiring manager, selecting people to fit on your team, and do a good job for you. And I wish you the best of luck with that. We're out.
You have been listening to Doug Thorpe's New Manager Forum. Visit our website at dougthorpe.com. Leave a comment or ask a question. We'll see you in the next episode.